Good Saturday morning, everybody. I am meteorologist Johnny Lively here to do our Saturday forecast and our weekend forecast, sponsored by HB Neal Construction. Looking at radar, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union, we can see a couple isolated showers along the coast, but a lot of this is currently offshore. Now, we are expecting at least 30% coverage later on this afternoon here in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. Looking at the satellite and radar, it has been pretty quiet here in Texas and Louisiana. A lot of activity currently offshore, but we're slowly starting to see that get a little bit closer to the coast. Should give us at least 30% coverage later today. Got a couple new areas added: Sweeney, Lake Jackson, and Angleton. Currently at 77, 78, and 76 degrees. Here in Beaumont, we're at 77. Houston, 80 degrees, and Lake Charles at 76. And down towards the coast, they're into the upper 70s to low 80s. Taking a look at our upper level flow, which is sponsored by Dana Simmons Real Estate Team, it's been the same thing. We've had that high pressure ridge just off to the west, keeping that flow out of the Gulf, giving us some of that moisture, which keeps our rain chances alive. And as we even get into later this week, or earlier this week on Tuesday, you can see have that high pressure ridge just a little bit more to the west. Also have another ridge off to the east. What exactly does this do? Well, it keeps the flow of that moisture right into our region. And if we look at the atmospheric moisture sponsored by Neutron Electrical Services, you can see it's pretty active over there offshore and in Florida, where all of that deep tropical moisture is. We're going to start seeing that higher moisture getting into our area on Sunday and Monday, which increases our rain coverage. But even as we get into the middle part of this week and into the week, we start seeing that really continue to push into our area. So rain chances just sticking around, not only today, but off and on throughout the whole entire week. If we look at our Futurecast, sponsored by Do Good, you can see that we're expecting at least 30% coverage this afternoon. We have the moisture, we have the heat of the day. This should give us some isolated showers and storms later on this afternoon. It's going to be hot, so any relief that we get from the heat will be from these very isolated showers and storms. We die down tonight, but then we get pretty active on Sunday afternoon. Here's the lunchtime hours. You can see right along the I-10 corridor and just south, we've got the showers and storms. And as we progress through the afternoon, it starts pushing further to the north. And here we are by Sunday night, dying down again. But Monday, rinse and repeat. More moisture coming into our area. That means more rain is definitely in the forecast on Monday as well, too. Here's our high temperatures for today. Houston will be into the mid to upper 90s at 96 degrees. Spring, Conroe, and Huntsville into the upper 90s. Here in southeast Texas, from Beaumont even into southwest Louisiana, we should be into the low to mid 90s. Beaumont at 93, Lake Charles at 93, and down towards the coast, you will be into the upper 80s. Overnight lows towards the coast will be down into the low 80s. Beaumont at 74, Lake Charles at 74, Houston at 79, and the further north you go, like Hemphill, Jasper, and Newton, you will be luckily into the low 70s. As we look at the tropics, we're starting to see a little bit more activity. So far, the Gulf and the Caribbean should be quiet the next 5 to 7 days. We have a new area that has just been added, and it has a 40% chance of development in the next 5 to 7 days, and we will continue to watch it down the road. This is a long time until this even attempts to get towards the Caribbean or even in the Gulf, or maybe this goes out to sea. Lots of time to continue to watch this, and I just want to show this graphic. Kind of showed it a couple times. Remember where that system is. That is 8, 9, if not 13, 14 days, even getting closer to the United States. So plenty of time, almost 2 weeks, to keep an eye on what this will do. Now remember, we still have a lot of dry air in the tropical Atlantic. So this, you can see just off the coast of Africa, lots of greens going on. But this is eventually will run into a brick wall of that dry, stable air. So we don't expect this is going to develop very quickly. It might develop somewhat kind of quickly towards the, where it is right now, the offshore of Africa. But as it continues moving westward and hits that wall of dry air, we expect it will struggle a little bit. Once it starts getting out of that dry air, that's when this thing can definitely start getting going. So that's why the National Hurricane Center has 40% chance this can develop. Now remember, plenty of time to watch this. I know some model data have been all over the place, but the latest trends today are showing this possibly could go out to sea, just like the other wave that we watched go right out to sea as well, too. If we slide over, we can see lots of deep tropical moisture, showers and thunderstorms and convection right over Florida. This is eventually going to start spreading our way moisture-wise as we get into the middle part of this week, and not expecting any development out of it. It's just keeping the rain chances really alive all along the Gulf Coast. Current water temperatures, they are warm, they are favorable, but we just don't have anything to track right now. And water temperatures are just one ingredient. You also have to know, Is there any wind shear in the Gulf, any wind shear in the Caribbean? Is there any dry air in these regions? This is just one factor. So, yes, it is favorable. It looks good. Not what we want to see this hurricane season, but it's always pretty much warm here in the Gulf and the Caribbean during hurricane season. It's just one ingredient. 7-day forecast here in southeast Texas. Rain chances just not going away. We've got the moisture. We've got the heat of the day. So we're going to have isolated scattered storms off and on every single day the next 7 days. Here in southwest Louisiana, same song and dance as well, too. The good thing is, with all the clouds and some of this rain, it keeps our temperatures down into the low 90s. Remember, was it a couple years ago, we were talking about real temperature at 100 degrees, 105 degrees. So totally different story this year with all the rain that we've had. Everybody have a wonderful Saturday. We'll continue to track the tropics, continue to track radar if it starts getting active later today, especially on tomorrow and Monday. But I hope everybody has a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful weekend. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to check out our Gulf Coast YouTube channel that has the live 24/7 access for the latest forecast, graphics, and outlooks. Have a good one.